The Spider X is my gamer putter, but will it be staying in the bag for much longer? Let's check out the new Spider GT putters. So there are 4 models in the Spider GT range, and I've got 2 of them to test out today. But obviously, first off, we're going to start with the main model, the Spider GT. And you can actually see, quite interesting from the sole, a lot of space is being carved out of the middle here, and that is to kind of save weight, which can be moved and used elsewhere to drive up MOI. So there's actually over 90 grams of tungsten in each of these wings, which is really going to help with that weighting and improving that MOI and giving you more forgiveness and stability on off-center strikes. As part of that tech, you can also see we've got this really light aluminium on the top, and that's really going to help with weight savings at the top and bring it down lower in the club. Overall, it also means we've got a lot more weight near the front, so it's really going to help with that forward roll, getting you more true roll and getting the ball rolling more consistently. Now, my current gamer is the Spider X, so I really do like the Spider style of putter and this putter family. And over the ball, I have to say, this looks great. I really love the shaping. It is overall slightly smaller because you don't have those wings at the back, and I think that's going to suit a lot of people who don't necessarily like a really big putter. But for me, a big standout is the kind of contrast on the top in terms of visuals. This white line is really going to help you out, and I really like the fact it comes all the way to the front of the putter. So if you're someone like me who uses a line on your ball, it's really easy to match that up to the target. This comes in numerous different colours. This black looks really cool behind the ball, but there's also like a bright red option, which looks fantastic. I think it would really contrast well as well. So different colour options there, so you can pick and choose between them. Oh, I really like the feel of that. It actually feels a bit heavier than some of the putters, and especially at the front, which I really like. It feels really controlled of the ball, and like, even though this is a completely different kind of hosel that I would usually use, I felt like I could control that really nicely because of that extra weight and stability there. Now, as we see with the Spider range, we've got the true roll insert in here. So because I've used this tech before in other Spider models, I'll be able to test it out on different equipment, such as Quintic, which gives you really high analysis of how well the ball is rolling off the face. And these produce really good forward roll, which is obviously going to help in terms of that consistency, not only in terms of direction, but also your distance control. I'm really liking the performance of this. I also really like this grip they've got on here. This is the same standard size that we typically see on all of the Spider models, this Super Stroke, but we've got kind of a new unique colourway, which I think stands out really nicely. But I also think this is a really good size because it just allows you to hold the grip well. And for me, because I have quite an unusual grip, it gives me enough space to hold it with. Now, if we switch into the Splitback, you see some visual differences on the top in terms of alignment. We've got the True Path alignment system here, which TaylorMade have done a lot of research into in terms of that alignment and helping you line up well with the ball. This large white area is really going to match in with the shape and style of the ball, and then also you've got that line in there to get kind of centre of the ball. Now, instantly this feels a little bit lighter, which is quite interesting because there's some different tech in here. Both of these wings have had quite a lot of material taken out of the inside of them, and this has actually been filled up with the same speed foam that we see in some of TaylorMade's irons, and that's just to save weight in areas that they really don't want it, so they can move the weight around and put it in more optimal areas to drive up that performance. So this offers quite a different visual in terms of alignment because we've got that True Path system, which is further back, and we've obviously got that large white section, which is quite vibrant and very different. It's interesting, it sounds a little bit higher pitched. I don't know if that's just because it feels a little bit lighter as well, or it's the difference in tech and kind of materials. Still rolling out really nicely though. I actually do feel like I have to hit this a little bit firmer to get it there. I don't know if that's just the difference in weighting. Both of these have got the same face technology in, but they are slightly different colours. This looks a little bit brighter, whereas in the GT it's more blacked out to match the rest of the putter head. Now it's quite interesting we look at the data here from TrackMan, because I've been doing quite a lot of putter testing lately, and these two putters have been the highest in terms of having the best roll percentage. So in terms of the full length of the putt, 90% of this has been true roll with them, which is really good and really consistent. So definitely pretty impressive in terms of how well the ball is rolling off these putter faces. I definitely do think I prefer the visual of the GT model. Just for me, the fact it's very simple, and then you've got that one kind of striking line at the front to really help with your alignment. I think it just sits really nicely behind the golf ball. I feel like I can give it a really nice, like, positive stroke as well. Feels very comfortable. I mean, those three shots were ridiculously consistent. The roll quality is really good, the consistency of the speed and the direction is really good. So far I'm pretty impressed with this model. Now, one thing to note when we go to this Splitback model is, because you've got that true path alignment system, when you're using this for your practice swings, it does give you a really good visual of kind of what direction you move in the putter, because you almost get kind of like a white blur which is showing you the path. So it's quite good in terms of like helping you with your stroke, which, if that's something that you think you need. I definitely don't think this comes off the face quite as quickly. Like, the sound is definitely a bit higher pitched and lighter, and it doesn't feel quite as fast. Like, I do think I need to hit it more to get it there, which is obviously shown in the result where it's finished quite a bit shorter. Both of these basically have identical data though in terms of how well the ball is rolling. So if you're someone who hits it past the hole a lot, or maybe you're someone who you don't want to really feel like you have to kind of hit it really soft, this could be a really good model for you. I mean, in terms of consistency, it really doesn't come much better than what we've seen here. Now, both of these have really good roll qualities, so I think if you're trying to make a decision between the two, it's really going to be based around alignment. Obviously, visually they look quite different in terms of alignment, even though the shapings are fairly similar, so it's going to be a big thing picking there for most people. Another thing to note here with the Spider GT is we've got the aluminium plate on the top, which is designed to also help with the finish, because it's more consistent than pin, it's not going to chip, so it's really going to give you a longer lasting, nicer finish too, which is obviously going to help in terms of that visual when you're looking down over the ball. For me, I just really love the simplicity of the GT, and I know there's a lot of tech behind the true path, and I think a lot of people will prefer that, but for me this is just a little bit busier, so I think from that point of view probably the GT is my favourite visually. It's also worth noting though, obviously this is a little bit bigger in terms of the footprint, so if that's something you prefer as well, you maybe like this too. To be honest, this is performing pretty well on alignment. Maybe I should try use this more. Interesting. So overall, in terms of performance, for me with a putter, pace is key. How well can you roll the ball? It's going to lead to consistency. If you're not rolling the ball well and it's bobbling all over the place, you're not going to be able to control line, and you're definitely not going to be able to control pace. So you're just not going to be putting well overall. Both of these models are first class in terms of getting that forward roll and getting the ball rolling really nicely and also really consistently. So really, I'd be happy to use either. So it was quite interesting then when I went into the short putting and the kind of hole and out testing, because for me, I definitely prefer the look of this GT. It just looks so sleek and so simple. I didn't think I performed as well with the True Path, and also because it doesn't come to the front of the kind of club like I'm used to. But I actually hold out really well with this, which has definitely given me some food for thought in terms of testing the alignment a little bit more. Both of these options performed really well. This one's definitely heavier, and because of that impact, you notice that this one sounds a little bit more higher pitch. So definitely a little bit of food for thought there in terms of kind of sound and feel. But also I would say because this feels a little bit softer, it comes off a little bit slower, so you do need to give this a bit more of a hit. So if you're someone who already has a really long stroke, or you don't like having to feel like you have to hit a putter, this one's probably a little bit better in terms of that weighting. Honestly, I'm quite torn between these two models. I feel like the GT squeezes it just because I really love that visual. So now all I need to do is beg TaylorMade for one in a double bend option, and then it's pretty safe to say it would be going in my bag. Right, that's all for today. If you have any questions about either of these models or any in the new Spider GT line, feel free to drop them in the comments below or send me a line on Twitter or Instagram. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications too. And if you're after more golf content, head over to the National Club Golfer social media channels for more.